Hi teachers, this is Laura again. So in this video, I am going to show you how to use my guide that I've developed to create some different kinds of assignments for your Google Classroom. So we already went over the basic setup of your classroom, how to create questions, assignments, topics, and quiz assignments. So now we're going to be in the section where we create engaging Google app assignments. So we're going to start with Google Slides because Google Slides is probably the one I use the most, especially for the elementary school age group. So in order to create a Google slide, what we're going to do first is set up our drive in a way that allows us to stay and be organized. So we're going to create all the assignments in the drive before going into the classroom. Can you create different files directly from the classroom? Yes. But I like to do it from the drive because that way I can organize my classroom really effectively. So I'm going to open up my Google Drive. The link for the drive is just drive.google.com, or you can use your 9 little Google Apps buttons to navigate to the drive. I'm now in my drive, and I want to create some fun games. So you can see here how I have Unit 4 already in a file. I could also have a folder for fun. So let's go ahead and create that folder. Okay, and what I've done is I've created two files here that I've already used in the past. One is my Hangman Games template, and one is just the actual game that's delivered to students. What you will see in my guide is that I like to do two different slides. I like to create a template slide and a student slide. The reason I do two is because in the student slide, I only want them to be able to edit the fields that I want them to edit. So if we go over here and we click on Fun, we're going to create a new slide. And we're going to name it our Hangman template. Okay, so this is going to be where we create all the elements that we do not want the students to be able to edit. I'm going to start by getting rid of what was already on the slide because I don't need those fields. Next up, I'm going to choose a background. In this case, I'm going to go with a single color because I know kind of what I want my elements to be. So I'm going to go over to gradient. I want like a sky gradient, and I can customize this. I want a linear one, and I want the dark on the top. Okay, so I created that. Now I want to add some fun background elements because I want this to be kind of a silly game for students. Okay, so I'm going to add my instructions. Each time you guess wrong, an apple is going to fall out of the tree. I'm going to get rid of this because my tree disappeared somehow. So instead, let's do our shark one. Okay, so for the shark one, I'm going to change the background. I want to choose an image, and I'm going to do a Google image search. I want something on the ocean. Okay, here's kind of a fun ocean background. So we'll insert that. Okay, now I'm going to steal my shark that I've already created. So here's my shark. I do not want students to be able to edit him. And here's my instructions. Okay, so the hungry shark wants to eat all the fish. Guess your hangman wrong, and he gets to gobble them up. So here's my cute little shark, my background, and I have my text right there all ready to go. Let's create another slide. Again, I'm going to get rid of that default stuff that it loads. This time I want to do a space theme. So I'm going to go to choose image. I'm going to pick a cool outer space theme, insert. Okay. And now I'm going to grab some of my elements from my space slide. You can get these from Google Images, wherever you want. Okay. All right, so now we have our little Earth, our spaceship. We're going to have some spacemen fall out of this. So this is looking pretty good. I could continue adding slides, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to now go to File, Download, Ping. I want to download this whole slide as a ping. That way students can't move this stuff around. So this is my first slide. Now I'm going to go to my second slide, File, Download, again as a ping, and this is going to be number 2. So we now have both our slides downloaded. I could continue to move these around the template. I could make changes if I wanted to, but we're going to now go to our Fun folder, and we're going to create a new Google slide. And this one we're going to call Demo Student Slides. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of that. And now the background that I'm going to choose, I'm going to upload it from my computer because I want to upload one of those pings that we just saved. So let's start with the shark. Okay, so now our shark slide looks exactly like it did on our template, which is over here. The only difference is on our template, we could move the shark around. Here, students can't move that shark, so they can only focus on the things that we want them to focus on. So again, this is something I've already created. So I'm going to steal from this. So there's my little fishies. So every time a student gets it wrong, they're going to take a fish and they're going to drag and drop it in the mouth. I want students to be able to move these features, which is why I did not put them on my template slide. I want them to be able to move all the fishies. Okay, next up, the other thing we have to do is we have to give students spaces to write in the words that we want them to write in. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight this element and paste it over here. Now I've set these up to be text boxes that you can write in. Okay, so I can add multiple different text boxes. This is meant to be like a classroom activity where the teacher actually writes these in. So the teacher would select how many text boxes they wanted. Okay, so now we have our shark slide finished. So let's create our alien slide. So we're going to create a new slide, new slide, delete everything. Now we're going to add in our aliens that are not movable. We want them in the background. And I'm going to grab my little alien guy. And I'm going to put some aliens in the ship just by copy and pasting them in the ship. So now every time a student gets the answer wrong, the aliens can be moved down to Earth. Okay, we're going to do the same thing we did on our shark slide. We're going to take our little template letter boxes and put them in here. Okay, so now we have our student slide ready to go. So we're going to go ahead and add this as an assignment to our math class. So go to classwork, create, assignment. Click Add from Google Drive. And we're looking for our student slide demo, not to be confused with our template slide here. Okay, so there's our demo student slides, and we want to again make a copy for each student. That way every student gets their own copy. They're not working off the master copy. So this is a classwork, but it's ungraded because it's just a silly game. No due date is needed. And we could put it under a topic, but in this case, let's just create a new topic called fun. And click assign. Okay, so now all our students in the stream see that we've posted a new assignment, a fun hangman game. And there's our instructions for the hangman game. Okay, we're going to create one more type of slide. I'm going to make a folder called exit. Okay, so now it's time to create our new template slide. So exactly the same way we did it last time. We're going to get rid of everything we don't need. Okay, but I'm going to do this one just a little bit differently. I want to use an existing worksheet that I already had prepared for the class for these slides. So I'm going to go to my Finder, and I'm going to open up this PDF that I have of these math exit slips. Okay, so here are my exit slips. This is normally something that you would print out in class. But what we're going to do is we're going to take this and turn it into a digital slide. So because I'm on a Mac, I can take screenshots very easily. So I'm going to go ahead and take a screenshot of just this exit slip. And you see that it loaded here. Depending on your type of computer, this will vary for you. So for some folks, it'll be very easy. For others, you may have to download like a snipping tool or a cutting tool to get that. I am able to just use a shortcut. So this went ahead and saved onto my desktop. Here she is. So I'm just going to rename it. Oops, hitting the wrong button. Okay. So you can see that this is not quite the dimension that my slides are. If I were to go over to my slides and put this in the background, it may not look quite right. Let's go ahead and do it. Okay, see how it kind of like stretched out, and it doesn't look great. So we're going to change this setup to be a little bit better looking. So we go to File, Page Setup, Custom, and I'm going to drop this down to 4 inches. Now this looks pretty nice. Looks great. I can put anything I want on here. I'm going to, in this case, make another slide. Get rid of that. I'm going to go back to my PDF. And I'm going to take the next exit slip. We got another screenshot of that. Return to the slide. Change our background. Okay, now the one thing I don't need is I don't need students to fill out their name on every single one of these. That would be a little redundant. So in order to just cover that up, I'm just going to take a regular white box with no line around it and cover these up because they're just not needed. Okay, so now I have my template slides. I want the student to be able to edit all these fields on here. So I'm actually going to stop here and go ahead and export these slides. So just like last time, we're going to download as a ping. Here's our second one. Here's our first one. Okay, so now my template slides are ready. I am ready to create my student-facing slide. So I go to New Slide. This is Demo Exit for Students. Okay. Remember, I did change the aspect ratio of this, so we're going to go to File, Page Setup, and change the aspect ratio of this new one as well. Our first exit slide. Here's our second exit slide. And now it's time to enter, to put in place the things that the students are going to actually use. So let's go to our text box. We're going to draw in our first text box. I'm going to make these kind of like fun. And the one thing I like to do on the black and white slides is I do like to make the text color blue, kind of like a pen. That way it's just easy for students to find and locate where they're supposed to be typing it. It's a good visual cue. Okay, so those two are done. Last one is I want to give them space to write in their equation. And since there is a little interactive aspect to this slide, these little smiley faces, I'm going to go ahead and give them a way to select those. So I go to my circle tool, I'm going to draw a little circle. I'm going to make it yellow. I'm going to make it a little transparent so you can see the smile behind it. And give them that little circle right there that they can highlight and put over the one. Okay, so now I want to copy these and I'm going to paste them onto this document on this next slide, and I'll just get rid of those two because I don't need the students to type that in every time. Okay, so we got our little circle to understand the skill. We have our equation that they can write in. And now this exit slide is ready to go. Okay, so the last one I'm going to show you is how to work with a full page PDF in slides. So we're in our Google Drive. We're going to create our new slide. And in this case, I want it to be the size of a full page document. So I'm going to go to custom 8.5 by 11. Okay, so now we have our full page document. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and open up a PDF here and zoom out. Okay, so now you can use the same technique that I used before, where you copy and do a screenshot of just this front page. There are also a variety of ways to convert PDFs into JPEGs, and I'm not going to go through all of those different ways right now. In this case, I'm going to use Adobe. And in the interest of time, I am going to delete the majority of these pages. So I have these two pages. I want to export both of them into JPEGs. So I could go to Export PDF and just export them either as a JPEG or a PNG. So that's one way to do it. The other way is, of course, to just use your screenshot tool. whatever that may be. I'm going to go to my background, choose my screenshot, and now I can add in the fields that I need to for this particular student to fill it out. So it's just the same as before. Name, we can change that to some fun font, and I like to use blue just so that it looks a little different. However you want to do that. Okay, so there's our weather journal. This is a full page 8.5 by 11 slide, and this is a great way for students to fill out a lot of information at once.